Welcome to Velocity. So what I want to do here is start by getting you ready in a big picture, first principle kind of way for the manner in which we're going to move you from here, which is uncertain, unfamiliar, maybe a little fearful, to here, which is calm, assured, collected, and ready. And the way we're going to do it is just exactly the way that I did it. If you haven't already, or if you're interested, you can see my entire score record, including my 3 180s, by clicking my name in the About section of the website. And what I want to do for you is show you how I did it. Exactly the way I got 180, 180, 180, and those 177s and that 179, those bastards, 179, that close. And the way I did it is by prepping smart. Smart prep starts from the idea that the only thing that matters about the work that you do now is how well it prepares you for the work that you have to come. It doesn't matter what the right answer to this question is. It matters that you understand how that right answer applies to the right answer that you're going to need to provide on test day. So, smart prep is systematic, it is mechanical, it's replicable. It is always structural, and it is very pattern intelligent. In other words, it's the same thing that I did when I was getting ready. And that's because that's the only way I know how to teach you. So let's talk about what that means in specific sections. In the games section, smart prep is procedural prep. What I mean by that is that you will never be as fast and as efficient as you could be if you're trying to work in your head. I want you to get it out onto the page. So everything I'm going to do is going to be geared towards you writing and seeing things, taking abstract ideas and making them concrete. So with our system, you are going to learn a way of doing games. And then every new game you encounter is just a way for you to practice that procedure. So instead of thinking about games as an end into themselves, I want you always thinking about them as a way of honing that procedural skill. You will get better at games by doing the same process over and over. And that's what I meant when I said systematic and methodical. There's the big picture for games. Reading comp, smart prep means two main things. First, a big picture and structural reading of the passage. When you finish reading, you need to be able to tell somebody, to articulate what you just read. And I'll show you exactly how I read and how that translates into that kind of understanding. Second, it's a knowledge of what to expect from both right and wrong answer choices. So as you head into answer choices, you're not informed just by the text, but also by experience. What is likely to be right from an answer choice? What is likely to be wrong? And we'll talk about that, and then you will see it happen in practice. And the practice there exists to make you a better reader and also to help confirm what is likely and what is unlikely from answer choices. So that's the big picture for reading comp. Logical reasoning sections are most important. That's where the most points are. It's also where I have the best chance of reorienting your prep from dumb prep to smart prep. Dumb prep gets down in the weeds of analysis of every passage and every answer choice. And that is just a huge time suck and a waste of resources. Smart prep starts from the idea that the real best practice is practice that gives you an opportunity to apply principles that you have already learned. It works like this. Think of all of your prep in the LR section as existing in the theory videos. That's where I show you what the questions want from you. That's where I show you how to answer those questions. And that's where you'll learn what you need to know. The practice, that's just application. And so you'll see that I spend almost no time in analysis of questions in LR. And it's for a precise pedagogical reason. And the idea is that unless you're some kind of super genius, in which case you don't need anybody's help, you don't have time to analyze 26 questions in 35 minutes. Because you don't have that time, I am going to circumvent that analysis. What you do have time to do is recognize right answers to 22 of the 26 questions so that you can wrestle with the 4 or 3 questions that might actually be difficult and different. So that's how I want you to prepare for the logical reasoning. Start by thinking of it as not an opportunity to analyze an argument, instead as an opportunity to apply the principles that we've already learned. And that's the big picture across the whole test. As far as I'm concerned, smart prep means giving you principles up front and then viewing every practice question as an opportunity for application so that you are recognizing things that you've already learned instead of trying to analyze things as though they were fresh or new or different, because they're not. In other words, it's the approach that I used. And if it worked for a dummy like me, it's gonna work for you. All right, these last few seconds are about the dogs, and if you don't find that interesting, you can totally stop watching now. All right, so what's happening is I'm recording this in a special custom-built soundproof recording studio. Before we built this space, though, we just set up the lights and camera in a room, and I'd sometimes bring the dogs into that studio room, and you can hear them in some of the videos, snoring and snuffling. And since that time, we've unfortunately lost Abby. Sad, but okay. But I thought I'd introduce you to the remaining dogs, Milton and Jake. This is Milton. He's the worst, but he does like to be carried. He's also the snoriest. He's the one you're probably hearing whenever you hear something. And this is Jake. He's also worst. He doesn't like to be carried as much, you can see. And he smells bad. He's the alpha, by the way, if you can believe it, in the whole Jake Milton situation. So they are why you can sometimes see dog hair on my shirts in some of the videos, and you may hear some snoring and snuffling in some of the others. Anyway, that's that, and I hope this will help you get ready for how we are going to intend to change your position. If you have questions about anything you've seen, as always, you can reach me through the messaging system on the site or by email, dave@velocitylsat.com. I would say good luck, but luck is for sissies. And yes, that's Milton.